Governor's Hurricane Conference board member representing the National Weather Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our next award is the Tropical Meteorology Award. It's presented to an individual or organization that has made outstanding or substantial contributions to the advancement and knowledge, application, or understanding of the hurricane forecasting and warning process in the state of Florida. Since 2004, Mr. Mike Boylan has been educating people about trends, model runs, and everything else tropical weather related through his website. He does not forecast, but his dedication and contributions to the citizens of Florida and providing tropical weather information in layman's terms, helping to explain what the forecast trends mean, and how to follow all the extensive maps, charts, and graphs located on his website, Mike's weather page, aka SpaghettiModels.com. The 2021 Tropical Meteorology Award goes to Mike Boylan of Mike's weather page.
Just click on Mike's page, from Doggy Nation. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand. Mike's got a friend, and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first, and you want to know it right, and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm, or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide.
All right, good morning, everybody. What's up? I've seen a few people asking. That was my coverage from Beryl just a few months ago. A couple months ago. Not that long ago. Only a Category 1. And you don't have to ask anybody from Texas, especially Houston, about Beryl. Because Beryl was not any fun at all. But it was only a Cat 1. All right, what's going on? A special Saturday edition of the Daily Brew. What's up, Mr. Dale? What's up, Mr. Ball? What's up, Bobby? Donnie, hey, neighbor. What's up? Oh, we got some people from Texas saying neighbor, neighbor, neighbor. We got Miss Shelly Ross helping out there. She's on YouTube and Facebook, and our Brew crew, mwpchat.com. So, special live edition of the Daily Brew. We usually only go live on the weekends when there's something in the tropics to talk about. And didn't really have much going on today, so I was like, heck yeah, we're going to be talking tropics. I appreciate the tropics for being active when I'm actually home and not at Daytona like we were 2 weeks ago. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to do a lot of hellos. Hey, Miss Wendy. I'm going to go right into the weather. That's what everybody's here for. We'll stick around at the end to talk and answer questions, but I want to go right into what's cooking out there. So when we're done, we'll stick around another 10 or so minutes if you want to chit-chat. But I usually chit-chat when there's not a lot going on. But that's Louis snoring, by the way. He just loves the limelight, I swear. All right, so you're looking at this big old mess in the Gulf of Mexico right now. Say bye, Louis. Bye-bye. What the heck's going on? All right, well, listen. So we got tropics. This wave that I've been talking about, everybody's been talking about, finally has figured itself out. It's been delaying. A lot of wind shear. It's been being pushed along that Caribbean. Never was able to develop any sort of center. slowed down a little bit, got out of that wind shear. Believe it or not, it actually has some decent vorticity right now, and it's exiting the Yucatan right now. Not Invest 90. I did a lot of posts about this yesterday. Invest 90 is gone. That area is still there. This is kind of, you can still see the spin a little bit about right there. I'm going to show you some pressures. That's old 90. Our area is exiting right now. This is a lingering front. This is the area that we're going to be watching down here. Tricky, but things that I'm seeing, we're going to talk about. We're seeing this. Pressures are kind of dropping in the lower Gulf, Western Gulf. We got some light shear ahead. We have this lingering front to the north, which is going to keep that moisture available to pull in from. And we're seeing a lot of bubbling right now, and we have history. So we've talked a lot about the models this year have been really bad. So we got to kind of take a step back, I think, and look at things more real time, look at old school maps, look at a little common sense, and we know this lower Gulf BOC is always tricky, so we're going to watch this close the next several days. This is the current National Hurricane Center outlook. This is what they posted at 8 a.m. Eastern, 60%. It was just starting to emerge off of the Yucatan down there in the lower Bay of Campeche. What they say, it's going to interact with that frontal boundary to the north. Conditions are forecast to become conducive for development, and we can have something happen early to middle week as it moves slowly northwest to north. So there you go. What does that mean? Well, anywhere in that orange is where they believe development can happen. And again, it's tropical depression or tropical storm. Doesn't always mean it's going to be a Cat 5 hurricane, but what we just saw with Beryl. And what we saw with Debbie here in Florida, you never turn your back on the tropics, especially when you see all that juice bubbling down there right now currently. So it's a slow mover. Grounds are saturated, especially along the coastal areas of Texas and Louisiana right now. So even at the minimum, we could have a pretty significant flooding issue no matter what. But some of the models are showing more, and that's what I want to talk about. So there you have it on that. Let me close it out here. Let me close things out as I go. Here's the latest weather nerds look at things. And you're starting to see some clouds being pulled in across that Yucatan. And we're starting to see some northern winds whip around. And like I said, for some reason, historically, this area of the Gulf of Mexico helps tropical systems get spinning quicker. It's the land, it's the curvature. It's the inflow of convection. It's the temperature gradients and land and water. It just helps systems counterclockwise. It's a weird phenomenon in the BOC. So you never turn your back on the BOC. That's the BOC. Now these little yellow dots are lightning, indicating lowering pressures and thunderstorms. So listen, and by the way, who am I? I am Mike, okay? I am not a meteorologist, okay? None of this is official, except for the National Hurricane Center graphic I just showed you. I'm not here to hype. If possibilities scare you, then please change the channel and do as Bob Seger says and turn the page. For some reason, people think that I'm a fear monger, which I think is a cool word. I'm going to get a shirt. And by the way, I want to say hey to Dan up there in the Panhandle if you're watching. But yeah, man, this is going to be interesting, okay? So, I'm going to show you all these models, and, models have failed this year. So why am I going to show you models? That's what I like to do, and we got a lot of model consistency now. I keep bringing back the KMA in the UK, right? When we were watching this wave across the Caribbean, we did not have 100% model support. KMA and the UK have done really good, and it seems like when those two models start to sniff out things, well, then it's a little more, and they're sniffing this out as something, okay? So, we'll see. But anyway, that's what it looks like right now. Convection is actually really bubbling down there. I'm surprised. We got some pretty high cloud tops emerging here. Nothing's organized yet, but that's some, big. That's a lot of convection. You start getting white and purple, that's some very high cloud tops, bubbling, growing. and is generally going to start lowering pressures in the region. And we just watch it in real time. That's what we're going to do. So I got a lot of things to show you. Here is what I posted this morning. You're probably like, what was that? I mean, you turn on the page and you see all these weird colors and you're like, oh my God, I haven't even got my contacts in yet. I don't even have coffee. What the heck are these colors? Well, when I started my web page back in 2004, this is Sims, CIM. In fact, give them correct. I got their links right here. UW-Madison Sims, CIMSSS. And I got a link there. These were some of the most original tropics maps that I started using back in 2004. Shear tendency, shear map, avorticity, steering maps. Well, that's what these are. These are old school ways that we used to look at tropics. And what they're telling you, 850 is lower level. We have this sheared frontal line showing you this big sheared elongated low that was originally Invest 90. But now we're seeing an individualized area that was over the Yucatan at 850. But what was noteworthy is the 500 millibar also showing it. So it's kind of stacked a little bit. It's a larger area of possible low pressure. And then we look at steering, and we have a high pressure over Florida. Those gradients mean that they're stronger than the western gradients, so that means it'll end up winning the battle. There's a gap here, which is so classic. This is like football stuff right here, right? There's a gap, and this high pressure winds spin clockwise, and they'll help rotate our system to the north. Simple as that. That is Tropical 101 in a nutshell. So that's what we're looking at. There is a high pressure over Mexico there, which would block any sort of movement that way. And this is kind of what we've been talking about all week. It's just, this whole frontal line is going to pick this system up. And the only thing that was different was originally it was going to develop somewhere around maybe Jamaica and then get pulled up into that frontal line. It's just a little farther to the west now. I did share some models earlier. We're going to go over all these models here in a little bit. The Euro is showing nothing. Maybe it's right. But it was wrong with Debbie and Beryl. So we're not, just throwing that out there. KMA, so the latest GFS in the 980 range. 980 range could be hurricane. The Korean model's pretty aggressive. Kind of the outlier, 963. But one you want to keep an eye out on. We don't have high resolution models yet, the mesoscale models yet. We don't have HWAR for any of that stuff. That was based on the Invest 90 yesterday. So kind of was. I'm trying to turn off my ringer here because it's very loud. But anyway, so the operational models to me make sense right now because it's showing what we can see. Anyway, Icon 996, Canadian 997. It wasn't showing anything. Now it is. The Canadian was going into Mexico. Now it's pulling north. So we got 5 out of 6 models. Now I don't have the EIEIO. Somebody on my Facebook chat today mentioned that. That's kind of where I've been messing it up. The Euro AI is not the EIEIO. Had a farm. I'm gonna read. We're gonna read comments here in a little bit. So even the Canadians corrected itself. So anyway, we're just seeing this push. That's all. It's nothing to be worried about right now. Just be aware. But things happen. We got to keep an eye on things like this. You just don't want to go to turn the channel off, and next thing you know, it's like, oh man, maybe it's a hurricane. Timing here for all these is Koreans Wednesday morning. GFS is Thursday morning. Icon Wednesday morning. Canada Thursday morning, and the Euro ain't showing it. But the EIEIO, the AI, man, I'm all messed up, is showing development. So we're going to show you all these models here in a second. So this is on my buddy Mike Clay and Brian McClure. Invited me to their studio years ago, locally here. It's Klystron 9, Bay News 9. They have a pressure map here, and the only thing noteworthy with this is not that it's nothing to worry about, but this frontal line's lowering pressures in the Gulf, you got to have lowering pressures in order for anything to really get going. A lot of our systems get going around 1010, 1012. That's high pressure. It takes time for pressure to drop. We got 1,006 pressure here off the coast of the Yucatan. And that ain't nothing to worry about. It's just, it's lower than normal. So the pressures are dropping, bottom line, in this whole general area. That's the only point of that map. Other things I'm seeing, long range, this is the GFS shear map. Very interesting. As we enter Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're seeing light wind shear. Okay, it's not the best scenario, but it is light wind shear. And this is, as we go forward in time, we even get a little pocket of really light wind shear on Wednesday. Ensemble mean wind shear, just kind of showing you a little better way to look at it as we get into, let's say, Tuesday, Wednesday. Blue is, very low. Your ensemble mean basically showing you below average wind shear. So the wind shear might not be that bad. It's kind of under one of those anticyclone high pressure areas, they call them, kind of a bubble. So that's just one thing to look at. Maybe the wind shear will be a little lighter as this goes to the north. That frontal line to the north obviously showing with the shear, but we'll see that. The Euro's about the same. Euro on Wednesday here, even though the Euro's not showing development, it is showing very light wind shear. Blue is 10, 12 range. Your anomaly map showing below average wind shear in the Gulf. So that's just one little thing that the system needs if it's going to do anything. Water temperatures, I know we've had a lot of rain. This is on tropicaltidbits.com. This is your water anomaly map. Water temperatures are still above normal. That ocean heat content is way above normal, so there's a lot of water heat. That's kind of why now that we have a somewhat of a spin, you don't turn your back. Trust me, I didn't have the windy map open. Let's look at that. When you have a seed, when you have spin, then it's different. We didn't have any sort of circulation on this whole trip. Now, you can see how these winds come down. This is such a weird phenomenon in the BOC. The winds come down and actually help. And these trade winds here that come in out of the east come over. And look at that. So that's what happens. The strong winds across the Caribbean, across the Yucatan. We have winds coming down off of Mexico. And we have this natural intertropics conversion zone that happens in the BOC. And you can see that right here. So we didn't have any sort of circulation before. So this is, this is a little different. Not, again, not scary different. Just we got some sort of a center now that we haven't never had. And this is what we'll keep our eyeballs on. Eyeballs. Like I said, eyeballs in a long time. So water temperatures are warm. Ocean heat content's really, really warm. It's got to get through the shallow shelf of the Yucatan before it does anything in the open waters. It's got a little more time over water than Beryl did as it exited off the Yucatan. This is basically in a nutshell. Heavy rain 9, 9, 9, 10, and then heavy rain 9, 10 to 9, 12. Some of this is a lingering front. Some of this could be tropical. So we're already starting to see heavy rain across the upper Gulf Texas region here, even touching the Florida Panhandle. Okay, heavy rain 9, 12. That's this week coming up. Flooding maps, I'm going to show you. Here's basically 5-day rains through Thursday. Obviously, a lot of rain still to come. Some of these little pockets could be, double digits. We showed that. We can look at that here in a little bit. But don't be surprised if somebody, wherever this thing ends up going, doesn't get double digit plus rainfall as this thing rain bands and trains in off of that Gulf of Mexico. Here's your flooding maps for the next 4 days. Excessive rains for Louisiana into the Florida Panhandle today. Unfortunately, that's today, Saturday. Heavy rains from that lingering front. We got tomorrow. We're starting to see the tip of Texas. Rains here across the region again as that front line pushes across the southeast. Sunday, here's a little bit of yellow down in South Texas showing up for Monday. That's our system coming up. And then on Tuesday, 4-day, we're already getting this, which is kind of rare for a day 4 excessive outlook map to show that. Already showing that. Do we have a 5? I think there's a 5 experimental map now I forgot about. Let's see here. I think there's a day 5 now. Yep, day 5. And day 5 is showing... Wait a minute. That can't be right. Is that day 5? No. Day 5. There's day 5. Uh-oh. Did I mess up my bar? No. Day 5. There's day 5. So obviously now it's moving up. So enjoy your little break, Texas. You got a cold front coming down this weekend. It's going to feel like fall. You're going to think, what the heck? And then boom. Next week you got heavy rains back. And that's tricky. That's, like I said, we could get some that's day 5. It's 5 days from now. It's going to get adjusted. All right. Let's look at ensembles, and then we'll look at some operational runs. So here's your European ensembles. Euro operations not showing it, but basically there's your low setting up. This is Tuesday morning. And basically it's keeping most of them weak. Don't get scared by the spaghetti models. We do have 1 or 2 that could be strong. But the Euro's, you know, the most least aggressive. But there's your general flow. That's what we're looking at right now, your general flow. The Euro failed so many times recently that it's not king anymore, but it, you know, it could be right. And then we look at the GFS ensembles for the same time frame. And we got another little area out there, I know, but it's not really showing up anything to worry about. So we're not going to talk about it. It's not really, don't get all worked up on that other yellow area quite yet, because it looks like it might curve, but we're going to worry about this one right now. This is your latest GFS ensembles on weathernerds.org, and you can basically see low pressures down here, and what we're just kind of looking for is the flow, and you know, it pulls them up close to Texas, kind of. So you get the idea. Upper Gulf, man, it's you know, anybody's game right now. These aren't showing up too strong. You know, there's only a couple showing possible hurricane. Most of them are, you know, tropical storm, but I worry about intensity on these models in the early going. You know, we're starting to see some yellows and oranges here, so it would have 2 to 3 days now over. You know, this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so it's got today's Saturday, so it's basically got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We've got like 5 days here of possible something. So that's the general there. Okay, I mean, common themes we're seeing is a pull north. That's nothing. That's been on tap for a week now. A lot of you are probably just joining and wondering what's going on. We've been tracking this tropical wave. It's eventually going to get pulled up to this frontal line. Nothing showing up too strong yet. But let's look at in here. I guess we could do southeast. Might be the best look here. And what I want to do here is pull up all the models. So let's look at GFS first. So here's your GFS, the 6Z, and it's showing a 982 millibar. That's borderline, pretty strong Cat 1. Just to give you an idea, the pressure rate reading on Burrow is a 979 at landfall. So this is kind of in the same range. You can see the yellows and the reds. That's heavy rain. You see this is Thursday early morning. Last night 00Z, a little weaker, 995, but the same general area for Thursday morning. So we'll go back 2 model runs, those 2. The Euro itself has been showing Zippo. Here is a weak low pressure. Now notice the rain. This is Wednesday. Heavy rain gets pulled to the north, but no, you know, 1007 millibar, keeps it very weak. There's some heavy rain in Louisiana on Thursday. So Euro's showing weak, just pulls up, no really true organization yet. It's the only model not showing organization though. All right, so the Euro has a new version this year called the AI. It basically reads back all its own data from the past 100,000 years. No, however long data has been recorded on the Euro. But it's been consistently showing a little more system. This is 993, heavy rain. This is Wednesday and Thursday. So once it starts to take off, it looks like it's going to get going. It's just what's it do in the next 3 days? I guess we need to really keep an eye on. Overnight EIAIO model. Same thing, 994, 993, 995. That was the OOZ and 18Z. Pretty consistent, 993. So if you're wondering what that means, that's just a strong tropical storm. But again, intensity is nothing you really want to look at on a developing system on these operational runs. Trust me. This will become Invest 91 soon. And once we get Invest 91, we'll start getting the higher resolution HWRF, HAFS, HMON models. They're very good at reading intensity. And by, noon, 1, 2 o'clock, the 12Z suite will run, and by afternoon, we'll get some good data, hopefully, on their intensity ideas. These are good track ideas. All right, so the Canadian Icon has been the best on this model. It predicted this a week ago. As my longtime followers know, we started watching the Icon years ago. It seemed like it was one of the best at sniffing out early tropical systems, and this has really done a good job. It did very well with Barrel, I believe. They didn't name it, Shelly says. All right, well, now we have Invest 91. Cool. Thanks, Shelly. That's real time. This is real time teamwork here. We're like working together. So, all right. So there's the Icon. Let's take a look at that. Mike Soul, are you in the chat, by the way? I just looked over there. Is Mike Soul in the chat? He's always watching us. I got your package, buddy. Thank you. So your Icon sniffed it out the best. Here is 995, 94. So it's a general idea. Look where it's going. All of them are kind of pulling to the north. If you've kind of noticed this trend on the tracks right now. This one's not too strong. A lot of rain though. There's a lot of juice in that lower Gulf. There's a 982. This is the overnight run, a little stronger, 982. So, hurricane possible, heck yeah. Just based on history and what the heck's going on down there, and that light shear I showed, and just the fact that we have lowering pressures now. We got a seed, we got low level spin. Heck yeah, man! I think we got a hurricane coming. I don't know how strong yet. It all depends on what it does in the next few days. Storms don't need more than 2.5 days to really rapidly intensify. I'll put it to you that way. They need more than a day. They need maybe a little more than 2 days. 3 days. 3 days. They don't. 3 days. Anything's possible. So if it's pretty strong tomorrow on Sunday, it's got 3 more days over the Gulf. A lot of moisture down there. Lots of moisture. It's going to be pulling this moisture from the frontal line above. We had that tropical wave combining, so there's a lot of moisture. And you can see that here on the Bay News 9 moisture map that I have linked somewhere here. That's a tremendous, it's not even moist. It's very moist. Where's my open image in new tab? There it is. It's not moist. It's very moist. There's a lot of moisture. Lots of moisture. And all that moisture from that front is going to get pulled down into 91 right here. So that's, that's going to help lower pressures. It's going to help it fuel. It's going to keep it, going. And you can already see that on this Weather Nerds satellite here. Very, 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 well, just look at this one. This moisture now is feeding into our system, and our lows setting up right here. So let's look at some other models. We did the Icon. That's pretty much it for here. I've not looked at the latest KMA or UK. Then we'll look at, that's about it really for me. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I dedicate a lot of time because I love the tropics. I do this. I would be doing this with or without you. So I just do it live. Get unbelievable amount of thanks when I'm out in public, and it really means a lot. Even though there's good and bad sometimes. Let's see, I'm trying to find this while I chit chat. So we want to go to the Gulf of Mexico. So you got to go, this is a paid site, by the way. So Central America, then we go Gulf of Mexico. For some reason, we got to go to Central America, then the Gulf of Mexico. But let's look at the organization of the UK. This is 850 winds, so it's not meant to scare, because it looks a little more organized than it really is. But there's the latest UK. And this would be Wednesday night. Now, this is the upper level winds, 850. But pressure-wise, it's tropical stormish as of now. So, again, once we get to H-Wharf, H-Halves, H-Mon, if they start showing 980 range, then we know there's a chance of this thing being a hurricane. All right? And I can't see how not, just based on 3 days of warm Gulf waters with very light wind shear. History, gut. Just took longer than it was supposed to. We never had a seed. If you remember back, we were tracking this thing in the Caribbean, and it never had any sign of circulation at all. And that was the one thing that I should have realized. The models were all predicting development on a system that had no rotation and had no circulation. And we had such strong winds that it was not able to develop a circulation. So the models were all wrong. I've never seen the models all wrong. But it didn't have circulation. Now it's got circulation. Different story. All right, let's look at the KMA, which, we're like, why you showed the KMA? Well, because I like the KMA. I don't know why. Last year, surprised the heck out of me, and it's been doing pretty darn good this year. So that's what it's showing. So you kind of get the feeling, Louisiana should not be turning their back. And if we're seeing trends to the north and to the east, that means everybody more east of Louisiana should always be paying attention too. Remember, your effects are always heaviest on the east side, regardless of landfall. So that's that. That's kind of where we're at. Just give everybody an update. We got a developing system that now apparently is Invest 91. It'll take a little time for spaghetti models to run. They don't run right away. So this is not Invest 90 anymore. This is Invest 91. It's a whole different area. And there you go. So I'm going to read comments now. Energy Education Foundation. Hey, I like your handle. F name would be Francine. Now, Francine replaced Florence, okay? Florence was only a Cat 1. And I hate when people say only. $24 billion in damage from Florence because of rains and floods, okay? This one's got that kind of feeling that it could have a lot of rain with it. There's a lot of moisture down there, man. There's a lot of juice. This is not a little system. It's going to start out big and broad. Watching these things in real time, that's what you do. All right, but look at these rainfall totals. Let's look at the latest GFS. Just see kind of what's cooking here. And you can see some of these bigger totals around the Houston area. 13. This is through the week now, but, we could probably do the slider bar trick that we did the other day, but kind of gives you the same idea. These are, look at this. Seabrook, 13.5. Galveston, 13.5. Galveston is already flooded. This is 13 inches possibly on the GFS, okay? The storm shifts, the rain shifts with it. But the fact is it's, showing double-digit rains possible for somebody. 8, Houston 6, So that's one possibility. And that's no different than what we showed yesterday. The Euro is tracking a little bit more of less of a storm, but obviously more of the rains to the east, but the euro is off, so we're not going to look at the euro. Euro's just not been my friend lately. Icon rains showing you these heavy totals. Now, Icon doesn't do very good with coastal land rains. I don't know what it is with the Icon, but it stops at the coastal levels. But it's showing, 7, 8, 9 inches here, 12 inches. So I don't know why the Icon does that. It doesn't show very good land total rains. So just off the coast, it's showing 12 inches of rain. So it's just weird. The Icon doesn't show rain in over land. Odd. So anyway, that's that. Hey man, that is a hey. What's up, Bill Barber? That is everything in a nutshell. Euro's showing a little more shear. Yeah, kinda. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't really see it as much as I thought I would see it on the euro. You can see this upper level winds kind of doing a little. This is not that bad of an environment, to tell you the truth. I mean, this is Monday. This is Tuesday. This little anticyclone, they call it, a little high pressure area setting up over top of possibly developing system. That's pretty light wind shear overhead of possibly something trying to develop. So this is to me classic favorable environment. This is Tuesday. I don't know why the euro is not showing development, but it isn't. But that's definitely not the worst case scenario with shear. You got your frontal line to the north. It's going to be pulling in moisture from that frontal line. So that's odd to me. But again, it all comes down to this. It has circulation. First time since this wave has been talked about, we now have forced circulation. And it's all because of that BOC. It's crazy. These strong winds here combined with these winds, and guess what? We get a little bit of intertropics convergence zone spinach in the Gulf. What's up, Dale? Yeah. Oh, who did I meet at the Zero race? Who was that? Paul Robertson. I don't know if I remember. Remind me. I got a zit right here, too. Chris and I have a lot of thoughts about the hurricane season. I don't know. Nobody knows. The big dogs don't know. Hey, Dan Cozumel. Yeah, you started this, Dan. you saw the early stages of Francine. Is it Francine? Hell, I don't even know. I might have been wrong. I said Francine. Yeah, Francine. Francine would be the next name on the list. And what's odd is the rest of the tropics. Look at this. We're not going to talk about this one. A lot of models are showing it curve. It could be Bermuda. That's too far down the road. We've learned tropics is. Look at Invest 99 went poof. I mean, we had 5 things a couple of days ago. Now we basically only got really one that's got a true low center. So, hey, peak season's in 3 days. Weird, right? Weird. Weather Channel's not talking about the storm, Jason? Well, they should be. I did see the spin off South Carolina mark. Yes, my buddy Shay Gibson showed it earlier today too. It's all tied to the front. That's the second time this week there's been a little mesoscale style spinner that's came off of the coastline there. That's more frontal line action, but still there it is. Look at that. They didn't mark it. I was surprised. That's some pretty deep spin. You could see it on radar big time this morning, but they didn't mark it. It's more, low level spin from the frontal line, so it's got a lot of wind shear because of that front, but it's interesting. Definitely got spinach out there, so we'll see 700 if this thing gets going. Yeah, I saw it. I'm surprised they didn't mark it, but it's not forming into anything. I was trying to find a good satellite of it to show, other than radar scope. Maybe with Weather Nerds we can look at Weather Nerds here. Let's take a look here. Let's go to visible. Maybe we can still see it a little bit here as the sun came up. Oh yeah, look at that. We'll get a few frames before the sun came up. This is the South Carolina spinner. Look at that. You start to see it. Look at that. It's tied into the front line, but it's still kind of cool to look at. Got some thunderstorm banding going around. Good morning, Tammy Harvick. So, anyway, I answered a lot of questions. You guys have to think for yourselves sometimes. I can't answer a million questions. I would love to, but I just can't once we get into this stage. So, apparently we got Invest 91, so that means I got to get the app ready. Remember, I got an app. I'll have a whole section on the app on Invest 91 soon. I just took off Invest 90 and 99. That'll be where it's at up top, Invest 91. And probably by noon, 1, 2 o'clock, we'll have models. So there you go. I promised you a live on a Saturday. So there you go. We've been live 6 days this week. And don't forget, I always do these reels all over the place. I'll be doing one a little bit here probably this morning now that we got a little something to talk about. And maybe do one tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And for sure, we'll be live Monday and Tuesday and probably Wednesday unless I decide to go chase this thing. All right. So have a great weekend, all. All right. Enjoy your weekend. And thanks for spending an hour with me here. All right.